In this video, we're going to do a market analysis for the sales of Amazing Spider-Man 361, and the results may be a lot different than you would think they'd be. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle. And in this video, we're going to take a look at the market for Amazing Spider-Man 361 and kind of analyze where the prices are currently, because there's some interesting things that I've kind of looked at with the numbers over the last couple weeks with regards to the release of the trailer and the hype surrounding Carnage. And there's some interesting things that I kind of want to relate back to a video I made last week where I was talking about, where the inventory was for certain comic books. And I think that there are some interesting finds that I was able to kind of parse through with the numbers here today, and I kind of wanted to share them with you guys and kind of have this conversation and talk about if we can kind of see what is happening here with the sales with regards to the supply and demand of the market. But before I get into the video for today, if you guys could drop me a like or a comment or subscribe if you're enjoying the content, help support the channel, do one of those things, and I would really appreciate it. All right, that said, let us get into the topic here today. And for starters, let's go back to this video I made the other week where I was asking about, where was the comic book inventory? Because when I had made my spec book video for Loki and I was doing my preparation, I had noticed that there was a lack of books on eBay overall. And I know that there's different reasons for that. People could be selling them on eBay, people could be selling them on Instagram or other platforms and websites. So that all makes sense to me, of course. But my biggest takeaway from that was I believe that people are holding on to their books, waiting for the right moment to sell, and totally understand. I mean, it's just very logical that that would be something that people would want to do, especially if you're a seller. You want to get the top dollar at the height of the market. But that said, I kind of also was wondering, is this cycle of comic books being sold based on hype with trailers, episodes on Disney Plus or movies, is the market going to kind of catch up to this trick, if you want to call it a trick? Because before, people would always just kind of be posting their books on eBay and selling it, and over the course of the hype leading up to a certain movie or property or whatever, there would just be kind of sales week to week. But with this current market, what we're seeing here is that everyone is waiting to flip their book right at the exact moment when the trailer drops. And I kind of asked the question of if this is the case, if this is the way that people are selling, would the supply actually kind of hurt some of those numbers? Obviously there's going to be high demand when people see the trailer for the very first time and they see Carnage and they want to get their hands on this book. But if all of the sellers are waiting for that moment to cash in on the FOMO or the hype, is that influx of supply going to actually hurt the overall value of the book? And my takeaway here is that I actually do think that had a factor here on the Amazing Spider-Man 361 book. So I kind of want to look at some numbers here with you guys today, and we can kind of have this conversation. So let's get into a couple eBay sales, and I just kind of want to show you guys some of the history overall. So starting here, of course, the trailer was dropped on May 10th, right? So I happened to pull up just some eBay sales. As you can see, this is the week before the trailer. We're here May 4th, right? So if we look at some of the numbers here, let's just kind of go through and kind of get a sense of where the books were selling at around this time. So we see some 9.6s being sold here May 4th, again, a week before the trailer, $500 here. We got another 9.6, $435, another 9.6, $498. So still around that $500 mark for the 9.6. And then let's take a look at some raws that we can kind of see here. So here we see a raw book, May 5th, $251 on a live auction. We have a raw here that's $500, except it was for the lot of books. And then we have some other raws here, $275. We have a raw here selling very high, $505. So, kind of up and down. Here's another raw selling $425. So again, 9.6, we're seeing that $400 range, of course. And some of the raws, we're kind of bouncing between sometimes it's the high $200 range. Sometimes it's the, the $400 range or so, depending on, what the deal of the day is. But this is at a time when I personally had my copy of Amazing Spider-Man 361 posted. It was around this time. And I had noticed at that time, there was not actually that much inventory for 361. Even though it's a very highly printed book, it felt like people were hoarding their book, waiting for the trailer to drop. So for that reason, I actually think that there were people that were making sales at pretty respectable prices. I mean, high 200s, looking at 400s, depending on the bid. So people were getting good value for that book. All right, let's flash forward here again now. The trailer, like I said, dropped on May 10th. So we go over to some of the May 10th numbers. Here's a raw that sold immediately for $400. Let's kind of flip through and see some comparables. So here's the 9.6, jumped up to 584. So again, we were at 500 before the trailer. Now it's back at 584. Here's another 9.6 going up to 600. And then some other raws here, 450. Here's a slash price, let's just call it 450. So definitely high numbers, consistent high numbers for the raw books. Let's see if I can find a couple other examples here. Here's a 350 selling on May 11th right after. I'm just kind of trying to get a sense right here with the raw numbers. Just see if I can show you guys a couple other examples. Let's pull some up here. Here's another raw 390. So this is on May 12th. So again, here's one. Someone got a steal 225. So again, it feels like overall, maybe the prices had kind of risen a little bit, with the drop of the trailer. People were certainly excited. Certainly the 9.6 selling a little higher overall. But those are the books that are being sold, the ones that were on eBay ready to cash in right when the trailer dropped. All right, so that was 3 weeks ago. So let's take a look at some of the numbers right now that are currently active in the market. And this is where I think things really take a turn. So here is the most recent sold books for Amazing Spider-Man 361. Here's a June 2nd sale. Again, $225 live auction. Let's take a look here, $267. Here's another one, slash price of $280. Here's one, $172 live auction. Let's see if we can see a 9.6. 9.6 back down to 500. 2 bids here. Let's see if we can find another 9.6 that is a live auction here. So here's 380. Again, here's 231. And then let me see one more 9.6 just to, here we go, 535. So this is really interesting to me that, 3 weeks after the trailer is dropped, it feels like overall the prices have actually had their correction. But when we compare those prices, to some of those 9.6s actually before the trailer, it actually was that, before the trailer, you were actually getting numbers that were equivalent to where we are now, which is like 3 weeks after the trailer, if not even slightly higher. I would say for some of those raw books, I actually think you were getting higher dollar amounts selling your raw copies on those eBay before the trailer, because actually at that time supply was very, very limited, even for what was out there in the market. So the people that wanted the book then and there had to pay these premiums to get their hands on this book. So that was something that was really interesting. Then I kind of thought this was something interesting too. I kind of want to talk to you guys about and show you. Here I'm going to pull up some of the GPA analysis. And this is, of course, Amazing Spider-Man 361. Here's the 9.8 sales. So we can see definitely a big spike, right, overall in the terms of volume of sales. But if we look at the most recent sales, right, here's recent sales here. And let's go down to May 10th. We're going to call May 10th. This was the trailer drop day, right? So this is really interesting. So let's take a look at some of the numbers, just a quick glance before the trailer hit. We see here's a 958, here's a 1395, here's a 15, 13, 12, 12, 13, 13, 13, 11, 12, 13, 11, right? So still overall, like we're in the 4-figure range, right? We're hitting 11s, 12s, 13s. All right, let's kind of just quickly scroll through to after the trailer. What do we see? 13, 12, 12, 13, 13, 11, 11, 12, 10, 11, 10, 11, 12, 12, 12, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, up and down. But overall, I mean, this doesn't look too much different than what we had seen before the trailer. I mean, certainly, I think you're going to see all-time new highs, right? So here, for instance, is a $1,600 sale in May 28, and that's definitely a new all-time high. But if we're talking about general market value overall for what this book is selling, I mean, it's not that different. Here on May 8th, before the trailer, we had a $1,500 sale. So overall, it's not that different. And then let's take a look at the 3 weeks before leading up to it, right? So here's May 10th. So if we rewind the clock, let's just count how many sales there were 3 weeks before this. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, right? We got 20 sales 3 weeks prior to the release of the trailer. Now let's count how many sales after. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. 38 sales. So obviously a lot more sales overall because there is more hype. So you would think that, well, certainly the prices would be that much higher. I mean, there's twice the demand for the book. But I think overall what I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about is that, I think one of the reasons why these numbers haven't completely 2x or 3x is because everyone was hoarding their books, and we actually got a massive influx of supply to the market once that trailer dropped, which kind of brings me back to kind of my original point to, I guess, sort of this video and discussing this here with you guys and talking about the video I made the other week, which is, with this new kind of market where everyone is trying to cash in on like trailer drops or hype moments of TV show moments, to me, it's really interesting to see if like, is actually, the best time to, if you're a seller out there, is actually one of the better times to cash in on your book might be either at that, you have to be like on it. You have to be ready to go at the very, very second that there's a trailer drop or an episode drop. You got to have your post on eBay listing ready to go right away. Or perhaps, maybe you're better off kind of selling in the lead up to the show if there's not much inventory out there, because you could be the one book that, someone who really wants it may want to get their hands on. Whereas now, 3 weeks after the show, there's so much supply. There's so many books out there. There's so much inventory that, the nature of the price is actually self-corrected. Now, I know that Amazing Spider-Man 361 is a little bit different than other books that I've talked about. Maybe Silver Age books that don't have nearly as much supply aren't going to follow this same kind of track record, right? Like, if, we talk about Loki, it's like, I'm sure there'll be an influx of Journey into Mystery 85s once we get the Loki show drop. But at the same time, it's not like there's so many books that are going to be sold like Amazing Spider-Man 361. Anyways, that is all I have for this video. Let me know what you guys think. Did you guys sell your Amazing Spider-Man 361? What do you guys think about Carnage? What do you guys think about this market trend? Do you think that this is something where the market is actually going to always self-correct? If all these sellers are always trying to sell at the moment where there's, hype and FOMO for, trailer drops or episode drops or whatever, we're always going to get that supply, and that's inevitably going to drop the sale of that particular book just because of the nature of supply and demand. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Drop me a like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and I'll see you in the next video.